My arrival in London was really quite something. I was very fortunate to be invited to take a room in my cousin's apartment in Cornwall Gardens in Gloucester Road, right in the heart of Kensington. And it was there that I was discovered by my cousins, with my best friend and my aunt's ward, a very impressionable young girl from South Africa, playing striptease poker. My best friend was cheating. As a result, both my aunt's ward and myself were stark naked when my cousins burst in to discover us. It quickly got round to my aunt that I was holding sex orgies in the heart of London, and I was asked to leave and set out to fend for myself in this extraordinary city. Well, here we are in Greenwich Village, which is in the west of Manhattan. It's, as you can see, a very beautiful area indeed, and has quite a large British population. My name is John Pirkis, and this is Diary of a Failed Actor. So why wouldn't an actor choose to start their career in London? It's a remarkable city. It has a history steeped in theatre going back centuries. These stages have been walked upon in the West End by Dame Sybil Thorndike, Dame Edith Evans, Dame Judi Dench, Maggie Smith, Sir Laurence Olivier, Sir John Gielgud, and now Sir Kenneth Branagh, Samantha Bond, Ralph Fiennes. Incredible theatre, of course, is not just restricted to London's West End and its environs, the Old Vic, which is just slightly away from the West End. Then you go into the regions, where you've got Bristol Old Vic, you've got Birmingham, you've got Liverpool Playhouse, you've got West Yorkshire, you've got Northampton-Downs, which is Northampton, Nottingham Playhouse, all again with a huge history behind them. And we also have a burgeoning film industry. Pinewood Studios is now expanding. There's Elstree, there's Leavesden in Hertfordshire. As well as that, we have an incredible television industry. So there is a lot going on in London. It also is a very quick and easy route to Manchester, where again a lot of the TV series are being created. Wales, this is where Doctor Who is made. The country really is very accessible, and there is an awful lot happening there, not just indigenous, but as I mentioned in my Los Angeles episode, Hollywood has pretty much moved its productions out of Hollywood and into Europe and into the UK and into Ireland. So it's a great place to be centred at this moment in time with so much production happening. But what happened for me? Throughout my 30 years, I struggled to make it as an actor, and I dipped in and out of it. For a good 15 to 20 years, I was signing on. I was taking housing benefit, I was taking welfare, I was a waiter. I trained to be a professional livery chauffeur. I did that for a period of time. I then became PA to a gentleman in the politics. I had a good career going as a character actor in supporting roles and guest roles. I was not till much later on actually getting onto the big stages, working at the Open Air Regent's Park Theatre, working at Windsor Theatre Royal, Brighton Theatre Royal. Other than that, it was mostly the fringe theatre, intimate theatre. And that's what led me to actually set up my own theatre companies, because if you're not getting the work you want, you create the work that you want. Then I had a personal upset within my life, and I shot off to the Isle of Wight with a friend and set up a restaurant, ran that for 6 months. I then came back and focused again on my acting career, and that was when I set up Theatre 503. I was immersed in establishing and creating that theatre, juggling my career as an actor at the same time, and trying to still see if I could feel at home in London. London is a tough city. If an American wants to come over, you have to jump through the same hoops that we do to try and get a work visa to move over to the United Kingdom to start working in London. You have to prove that you are an internationally recognised leader or an emerging leader within your field. It is remarkably cheaper for you as an American to get a work visa than for a Brit. For my O1 to come over here for 3 years, that was $5,000. For an American to get a work visa for 5 years, now you can get a work visa for 5 years and 4 months, if you apply for it outside the UK, and for 5 years if you apply for it within the UK, it works out at $700, about £560. However, there is a limit. They only offer 500 places for these visas twice a year. That is on April the 6th and October the 1st. So there is a greater limit of entry as far as talent is concerned trying to come into the UK. Another way is if you come over to study at a university or one of the drama schools, then after 4 years of being on a student visa, you will automatically be offered a work permit for 5 years. So those are the avenues that you could possibly take. Then what are the opportunities of work? Well, it's very, very important as an American that you are able to do an RP, my accent, or any of the other accents if you can, because otherwise you will be very limited as to the work that you can do. Now let's look at the workscape in London as compared to the other cities. Well, again, I'm going to be very honest with you. There isn't any difference. It's a strange thing with the human psyche. The grass is always greener on the other side until we get there and realize that actually it's very similar. You face the same issue if you're coming over to the UK, only it's much easier for you to get work because you do not have to be a union member. London is expensive, but then show me a city that isn't. Come out, explore the city, find out where you feel at home. That's London, that's my hometown. It's an incredible city, and it is, as with any of these cities, what you choose to make of it. My name is John Pirkis, and I look forward to seeing you at next week's edition of Diary of a Failed Actor.